concentrate our mind on the Divine Spirit within our heart and pray for peace and harmony in the world. Shanti Hari Om Tat Sat Om Stavakaya Chadharmasya Sarvadharmaswarupine Stavakaya Chadharmasya Sarvadharmaswarupine Avadara Varishtaya Ramakrishna Te Namah Asato Ma Sadgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Mritangamaya Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Let us bow down to Sri Ramakrishna, the embodiment of all religions, the Supreme God incarnate. Let us bow down to Him and pray to Him to remove all our ignorance, to give us right understanding, to make us realize our true nature, so that we can have perpetual peace and harmony. I have been dealing with the subject since 2-3 classes about the need of our own mind's grace. You may be engaging in all spiritual activities. You may have a congenial atmosphere. You may have holy association. God's grace may be flowing all the time. Yet, if you don't have the grace of your own mind, then everything goes in vain. So, the point is how you have to be very tactful, intelligent in handling your mind. Because mind always follows you. It is not that you die and all is over. No. You may wish to be over, but it won't be over like that. You are literally pushed into another birth. So one keeps on coming back and forth tirelessly. Even though you are tired, you have to keep coming, because your mind pushes you to take births. Why? Because you yourself entertained varieties of desires and you are working very hard to accomplish those desires, in that process you indulge in all sorts of frictions and you commit things wrongly. So, whatever you do will have its effect. You may like it or you may not like it. It doesn't depend upon your liking and disliking. The natural law is everything has its own effect. It must have effect, it does have effect, and it acts on you completely. So, all the spiritual teachers keep on telling, please try to keep the mind clean. Practice discipline. Develop spiritual strength. As I said in the last class, everyone has got that seed of spiritual mind. It is in the dormant state. You have to develop it. If you don't develop, be ready to come again and again and pass through the fire of suffering. It is not a curse. Don't get into that impression, oh, why God is cursing. No, He's not cursing. The nature demands. The nature, you are under the gravity of the desires. That gravitational force makes you take birth. So, what these holy people say, what these great masters say, they say, look, go to the root. Do you want to really free from suffering? You have to control your mind. You have to. If I am a saint, if I am able to concentrate my mind thoroughly, if I am calm and cheerful and peaceful, it may influence you. But in order to enjoy yourself, that state, you will have to handle your mind. So, the whole practice of religion, whatever religion you practice, in what way you practice, what for you are practicing, what's your goal, all these are important. Cleansing the mind. If the mind is not clean, even if the God is in front of you, you will not appreciate. Lord Christ Himself was here. How people ignorantly, foolishly treated Him. That shows the mind was foolish. That shows they were ignorant. They were in darkness. So, the purpose of dealing these aspects is to develop your spiritual mind. That is spiritual practice. Developing the spiritual mind is the spiritual practice. That is what Vedanta tells. It is applicable to Christian, it is applicable to Muslim, It is applicable to everybody, irrespective of what religion you practice. Vedanta is based on principles, not on your other things. That's why Vedanta is so sublime. It is so energizing. Even if you think the Vedantic method, you feel immensely joyful, as if the spiritual mind bloomed. You feel that way. But it's true. That means it gives you a glimpse of joy. Glimpse. That's enough for you to concentrate. Yes, this is the way I should go. This is the way I should go. This is the challenge. You love challenges, is it not? Take this challenge. Try to cleanse your mind. Cleansing your mind is the greatest challenge in the human life. That's all that is needed. Wherever, in whatever country you may be born, you are always going with the mind. If the mind is impure, you are bound to suffer. You means the spirit associated with the mind. Spiritual life means how far you are able to feel your separateness from mind and body. You may be in the body, but you have got that awareness. Though I am in this body, I am free. It is just like I am in the chapel here. I am free to go out. So that feeling of freeness, if you become aware of that fact, you will be cheerful. You are not bothered about anything around you. But to get into that state, it is very important. You have to have definite method. There must be definiteness, no ambiguity, clarity and determination. Take up the spiritual practice, and you will see how you are able to overcome sufferings. Sufferings mean nothing. You will understand it when you develop spiritually. You will be able to go beyond the dualism, sukha dukh. This time unhappy, next time happy. All these dual reactions, you are just able to go above them. They won't touch you. Swami Brahmananda ji, in the spiritual teachings, has given so many ideas to deal with mind. God is your very own. He is your very own. Have this truth firmly fixed in our hearts. God is my own. Then everything will be easy. But that feeling must be made very strong. God is my own. Then everything will be easy. Meaning self-control, getting the grace of the mind becomes easy. Proceeding further, Swamiji says, other disciplines which will help us to attain the same objective. There are so many ways of controlling the mind, getting the grace of the mind. Give this life entirely to Him, means God. Reserve no will of your own. He is the only refuge. You are depending on Him only. First, have faith in God. Be firmly convinced that to realize Him is the only purpose of life. If you don't have that goal, you can't overcome suffering. If you really want to overcome suffering, the goal must be set rightly. What is that? To realize God. By knowing Him alone, you will reach eternal life. You will have infinite happiness. So, that's the first thing. To have remarkable faith in God. Feeling He is your own. Second, is difficult, but it has its most significant spiritual value. What is that? Practice of continence. It's very difficult for the people to understand this or practice this. What, Swamiji? We are in the world, how can we practice continence? You should not have that line, that way of thinking. If your thinking goes that way, then how can you overcome tension? How can you overcome worries? How can you overcome suffering? How can you overcome attachment? How can you overcome involvement? How can you feel you are free from any encumbrance? It may be difficult. That's what I told you. Setting the goal. If your goal is to see God face to face, if your goal is to establish yourself firmly on peace and harmony, you will have to practice continence. This is the teaching of Swami Brahmanandaji, the spiritual master. It should not be difficult at all. It is difficult as long as you entertain the desire to enjoy. It becomes easy when you remove that root of enjoying. If you remove that desire, no more enjoyment. I am fed up with that. I am disgusted with that. Spit on that. Spit. Never even look into. See the bad effects of that. So that your disgust becomes more strong. So that your mind rebels when the idea of pleasures come to the mind. You may ask the question, oh, should we not entertain any desire to pleasure? To the extent you allow your mind to enjoy, to that extent you are making the mind impure. The more and more you enjoy, the more and more the impurity becomes strong. It becomes very strong and it produces strong impression in the mind. It stays there, it never goes. It stays there to give you trouble. In what way? It wants you to enjoy more. It will never stop. The more and more you entertain that, the more and more you want to enjoy. Life is short. Suddenly you will pass away, but the desire is still there. Still you want to enjoy. As I said in one of the class, one devotee was telling, Swamiji, I want to enjoy for at least 40, 50 years. Afterwards, I also can live spiritual life. So they want some kind of concession, some kind of compromise. It's very funny. If you want to know spirituality correctly, be free to take the ideas as it is, fresh. We may be facing difficulty, that is a different issue. But know the fact clearly. The more you entertain desires, you succumb to the desire. There will be definitely many desires unfulfilled. So, desires are your enemies. Please remember that. Desires are your enemies. Because you are forced towards the desires. Kamayesha krodayesha rajoguna samudbhavaha. The desire leads you to lose your temper. Because somebody comes on your way, see that rascal, he is obstructing my pleasure. I must teach him a lesson. I must punish him. That means mind is taking revengeful attitude. So, like that you begin to commit crimes. Why there is so much crime? Because of the desires. So, God has given you intelligence. Why don't you apply it properly and remove all obstructions on your way? That's the point. So, without perfect chastity, you can't hold fast to high spiritual ideals. You will be lowering the ideal if you are yielding to desire. To nourish the body, to nourish the mind, and to nourish the brain, and to secure their fullest development, continence is essential. A special spiritual nerve develops in a chaste person. With its help, his memory, his capacity for spiritual understanding, and his faith in God increase. That means you can see visibly how your spiritual mind is sprouting beautifully, blooming. Then you will be able to experience spiritual truths which lie beyond the reach of the senses. That's the reason the spiritual masters stress the ideal of chastity. Of course, it may not be possible, though it is a fact, to live a perfect life of chastity. Then Sri Ramakrishna has given series of instructions to householders. All right, if you cannot have that kind of strength to control yourself, then there are other ways of controlling it. What are the other ways? Duties. You are controlled by your duties. Duties are meant to purify your mind. Once the mind gets purified, then you will see how you are getting the grace of your own mind. What's the meaning of getting the grace of your own mind? The meaning is you feel more and more interested in spiritual activity. You feel more and more to think of God. You feel more and more peaceful inside. You feel calmness. These are all the results of the grace of the mind. Thirdly, first is faith in God, I told you. Second is practicing continence. To whatever degree you practice, to that extent to enjoy the spiritual glory. Thirdly, that's also difficult in one way, but at the same time, it should be done. What is that? Control your appetite. That means don't simply go to a restaurant and fire indiscriminately. I want $100 of dish. I want this, I want that. Go on feeding one by one. When you come back, your stomach is full of the food and you feel you're totally lethargic and you can't do anything and you lie down, whole day is gone. So, the spiritual teachers are very conscious of this fact also. They will tell you, take the food which is easily digested. Avoid the food that excites you or that produces in you lethargy. Avoid such food. That you have to determine, you have to judge yourself. What is food to one person may not be the food to the another. Different temperaments, different types of food are there. The brain must be kept cool. Why? Because you have to meditate. So eat to keep the body healthy. Health is essential in the practice of spiritual discipline. Eat moderately, little less than what you want to eat, just a little bit less you take. Then you'll be able to meditate during the night. Swami Brahmanji always used to encourage, meditate in the midnight. So generally we see his disciples, they would follow that. Yatishwanji, the author of Meditation Spiritual Life, he would do meditation in the midnight, 12 o'clock. Exactly at 12 o'clock he would sit and do meditation. He did that till his end, and he had the spiritual eminence in him on account of this steady practice. Always he was, if you see his face, you would see him, though he is looking outside, his look was inside. That is amazing. Anyway, why they suggest night? At night, nature takes on a quiet aspect. And so the night time is best suited for practicing contemplation. But what ordinary people do? They use this night time for pleasures. That's called the abuse of time. At dead of night, Swami Brahmanji says, with a little effort, the mind becomes absorbed in God. The whole nature is quiet. In the deep silence you feel remarkable glory and beauty, and you feel like contemplating, concentrating on God. Our mind is like a computer. It's a computer age, you know. So, a computer can function only with what you feed it. What type of software you are putting into the equipment. That's important. It can manipulate the feed in a baffling variety of ways. But it cannot of itself get the feed. So, the grace of the mind depends very much on what we feed it with. That's important. Unless we feed it wholesome and holy thoughts, we can't expect it to dower us with spiritual grace. Ram Prasad, a very great mystic, Indian mystic. Sri Ramakrishna used to sing songs composed by Ram Prasad. Very great mystic. So, he adopted a unique method of his own to supply his mind with needed food through his songs. So, what he does, he takes his mind aside and sings in an intimate and persuasive and sportive way. This particular song, which I am just quoting now, is in the Gospel, which Sri Ramakrishna used to sing many times. And Ram Prasad is addressing his own mind. See how they are all beautiful. And if you analyze, then you will see how true it is and how we should handle our mind. He says, "O mind, you don't know how to farm. Fallow lies the field of your life. If you had only worked it well, how rich a harvest you might reap. Hedge it about with Kali's name. If you would keep your harvest safe, hedging is important. And this is the stoutest hedge of all. That is remembering Kali's name. For death himself cannot come near it. Sooner or later will dawn the day when you must forfeit your precious field. Gather, O mind, what fruit you may. Sow for your seed the holy name of God that your Guru has given to you, faithfully watering it with love. When you repeat the mantra, don't repeat in a dry fashioned way. Have that feeling. I am repeating God's name. Oh God, oh Lord, oh my dear Lord. Feel that element of love all the time when you are repeating Lord's name. So, when you are repeating, it should be, the repetition of the name of God should be smeared with the love. That's what Ramaprasad says, faithfully watering it with love. And if you should find the tasks too hard, call upon Ramaprasad for help. If we analyze this song, what do you find? You find that Ramaprasad is training his own mind to behave spiritually. When our mind does so, we get its grace. There's another song that's also in the Gospel, that's also very relevant to our subject here. Ramaprasad invites his mind to come along with him for a walk to Kali, the wish-fulfilling tree. Come, let us go for a walk, O mind, to Kali, the wish-fulfilling tree, and there beneath it gather the four fruits of life, of your two wives, dispassion and worldliness. Bring along dispassion only on your way to the tree, and ask her son discrimination about truth. When will you learn to lie, O mind, in the abode of blessedness, with cleanliness and defilement on either side of you? Only when you have found the way to keep these wives contentedly under a single roof, will you behold the matchless form of Mother Shama? Ego and ignorance, your parents, instantly banish from your sight. And should delusion seek to drag you to its hole, manfully cling to the pillar of patience, tie to the post of unconcern the goats of vice and virtue. Kill them with the sword of knowledge if they rebel. With the children of worldliness, your first wife, plead from a goodly distance, and if they will not listen, drown them in wisdom's sea. If you do so as I say, says Ramaprasad, you can submit a good account, O mind, to the king of death, and I shall be well pleased with you and call you my darling. An analysis of this song will show that the computer is being fed with selected spiritual ideas so that you mind can submit a good account to the king of death. And I shall be well pleased with you and call you my darling. So, our spiritual progress does indeed much depend on this, my darling, which waits to be fashioned out of this. So, that's the way how we should try to hold the mind. The more you develop the spiritual mind, the more you become peaceful and calm. The more you become disturbed, that shows your other mind, the lower mind, is becoming more and more strong. So always be aware of your spiritual mind. Try to strengthen it, develop it. That is the purpose of this life. Once your spiritual mind is grown up fully well, then spiritual life becomes very easy. And not only that, you will enjoy real peace and harmony. Page 570. Master said to Hazra, you see, I can't use the rosary. No, perhaps I can. Yes, I can with my left hand, but I can't repeat the name of God with it. Sri Ramakrishna said that. With these words, Sri Ramakrishna tried to form a little japa, but hardly had he begun when he went into samadhi. He sat in that state a long time, still holding the rosary in his hand. The devotees looked at him with wonder in their eyes. Hazra also watched the master without uttering a word. After a long time, Sri Ramakrishna regained consciousness of the outer world and said that he was hungry. He often said such things to bring his mind down to the normal plane. M was going to bring something for him to eat. The master said, no, I shall first go to the Kali temple. He went across the cement courtyard toward the Kali temple. On the way, he bowed with folded hands to the 12 Shiva temples. On the left was the temple of Radhakanta. He went there first and bowed before the image. Then he entered the Kali temple and saluted the mother. Sitting on a carpet, he offered flowers at the mother's holy feet. He also placed a flower on his own head. While returning from the temple, he asked Bhavanath to carry the green coconut offered at the temple and the Charanamrita, that is the holy water. Coming back to his room, accompanied by M and Bhavanath, he saluted Hazra, who cried out in dismay, "What are you doing, sir? What is this?" The master said, "Why should you say it is wrong?" Hazra often argued with the master, declaring that God dwelt in all beings and that everybody could attain Brahmajnana through sadhana. He had an exaggerated idea of his own spiritual progress. We shall stop here. So, getting the grace of God, coming to Vedanta itself indicates you have got the grace of mind. Otherwise you'll run away from Vedanta. So you have to stabilize your aspiration. Vedanta must be strong. No, there is a way of looking, there's a way of handling your desires. Desire is desire. As I said, every desire, good or bad, will have its effect upon the mind. Call it family desire, call it duty, call it anything, by any name. The truth is, whatever desire coming in your mind, in whatever manner you are diverting your attention to that desire, the point is, if that particular desire distracts you from contemplation, obstructs you to concentrate on God, makes you disinterested to repeat the holy name, then you have to be cautious about such desires. In the name of all sorts of desires, how you are able to look into that, whether it is helping you or not. That's important. If it is helping you towards God, very good. Suppose I say, let me go to the Vedanta. Let me vacuum the place. There is nothing special in vacuuming my apartment. I am living there, I am doing. There is nothing great in that. But it is great if you come here and do it, because you are sacrificing so much time and you feel a kind of inner joy, kind of fulfillment. Oh, I did. It gave me a lot of peace. That's, if you say, Swami, I came there, I did, though I spent half an hour, but I got a peace. That is a sign of the grace of mind. So a desire which brings you peace, that's wonderful. Keep it up. So in a way, what I should say, spiritual activity is generally considered very good to keep the mind directed towards God. That's all. But what people talk, see, they keep on talking about the things of the family, relations. Sometimes it is very boring to hear those things. You talk with anybody, when they open up, bah, what a hell. It's all created by your own association. You involved in that, you get into that, so you are enjoying the fun. Why do you feel upset over it? Yeah. Yeah. No. Family, not that you should isolate yourself from family, not that you should isolate from the society, not that you should run away from all the things and behave in a very strange way. That's not spirituality. Spirituality, according to Sri Ramakrishna, according to Vivekananda, you are in the society, you are amidst all the people, but you are not affected by them. That's the glory of Vedanta. Let 1,000 million people, let them do whatever they want. Why should you be influenced by them? If you are influenced by them, that only shows your weakness, for which you have to take certain steps to overcome that weakness. In what manner you have to take the steps, you have to determine that. If you feel going to such a place is not conducive for your spiritual welfare, stop it. Don't reason anymore. Be very precise in what you are doing, then you will have the very good result. If you say, I am practicing spirituality, then with that awareness, you will be able to control your anger. With the awareness, you will be able to control your hateful attitude. So like that. So indirectly you are fighting all those evil forces. Not in a negative fashion, but by engaging yourself in a positive way and feeding the mind with spiritual thoughts, strengthening your spiritual mind, then you feel whatever you do is Lord's work. That conception will come. And you feel the whole world is your family. Why do you feel that particular gentleman is your family? The whole world is yours. That's what Holy Mother says. No one is a stranger in this world. Everybody has connection. Everybody is related to other. Each one is related to the other. You don't know the fact, so you are undergoing all sorts of experience, sufferings, etc. in the life. So we are all eternally connected. Because everyone is a living being, you know. That universal consciousness is running through everyone. So we are all dancing, thinking, I am responsible for my dance. Who are you to? It's because of the universal consciousness you are dancing. If that is withdrawn, you are gone. So, that universal consciousness is uniting all of us. You may be individual, but you are connected to universal consciousness. It is like, to give an example, there are hundreds of waves. Each wave is of different length, different height, different density. But all are connected to ocean. Can it say I am independent of the ocean? It cannot be independent. But there are small waves, there are strong waves, there are stout waves, height. So accordingly the strength of the wave also is different. One wave is very strong, another wave is very feeble. But even though it's a feeble wave, even though the other wave is very strong, they are all connected to the same ocean. They are all joining the ocean only. So your identity you are maintaining because of your mind. As long as you are having your mind, so long you are a wave. How do you know you are an ocean? When that mind dissolves. When the wave joins the ocean, where is the wave? When you ask the question, I am the ocean, that is the answer you give. I am not the wave. I am the big ocean. Why should I be little wave? So that little ego that gets merged into cosmic ego, cosmic I, universal I, Vishwatma, Paramatma. So we are all individual Atmas, individual beings, individual waves. Though we are having this individuality, yet we are all connected to the Paramatman, the universal consciousness. Individual consciousness, they are all connected to universal consciousness. In other words, universal consciousness is manifesting through infinite ways, through infinite varieties. That's all. Correct. Alright, we shall stop in Chicago. And it's a very historic occasion for all the people who practice Vedanta. And that is the installation of the statue of Swami Vivekananda at the Hindu temple, Lemont. The statue has been erected there. It will be dedicated on July 12th, Sunday. All the people who practice Vedanta must feel greatly blessed to participate on this most sacred occasion. And all of you please try to attend that. It's all once in your lifetime. Whatever programs you may have, you can postpone them, but give first priority to this program, which has got spiritual benefit to you than anything else. All the heads of centers in America and Canada, the Swamis, they all will be coming to participate in this program, and it will be very interesting for you to attend that. The program will be in the afternoon. It starts exactly at 4 o'clock, so please be there at least half an hour early, because if you come late you may not be able to get the seat at all to sit there. Of course, you can stand and see things also, that's also good. The area, the surrounding is very beautiful and you enjoy the atmosphere there. And Swami Atmasthananda Ji, the Vice President of the Ramakrishna Mission, he will be dedicating the statue. That's one important program which we are having on July 12th, Sunday. Come here, settle down yourself silently, properly. Be ready to receive the spiritual teaching gracefully. That will help you to awaken your grace of the mind. We need the grace of the mind, 2-3 classes I am dealing with the same subject. Probably I may have to deal with the grace of the mind, probably next class also. Anyway, why I am stressing is, mind is very important. Without mind, what are you? So, chant the name of the Lord and His glory unceasingly, that the mirror of the heart may be wiped clean and quench that mighty forest fire, worldly lust, raging furiously within. O name, stream down in moonlight on the lotus heart, opening its cup to knowledge of thyself. O self, drowned deep in the waves of his bliss, tasting his nectar at every step, bathing in his name, that bath for weary souls. Various are thy names, O Lord, in each and every name thy power resides. No times are set, no rites are needful for chanting of thy name. So vast is thy mercy, how huge then is my wretchedness, who find in this empty life and heart no devotion to thy name. O my mind, be humbler than a blade of grass, be patient and forbearing like a tree. Take no honor to thyself, give honor to all. Chant unceasingly the name of the Lord. O Lord and soul of the universe, mine is no prayer for wealth or retinue, the playthings of lust or the toys of fame. As many times as I may be reborn, grant me, O Lord, a steadfast love for thee. A drowning man in this world's fearful ocean is thy servant, O sweet one. In thy mercy consider him as dust beneath thy feet. Oh, how I long for the day when an instant separation from thee, O Lord, will be as 1,000 years, when my heart burns away with its desire, and the world without thee is a heartless void. Prostrate at thy feet let me be, in unwavering devotion, neither imploring the embrace of thine arms, nor bewailing the withdrawal of thy presence, though it tears my soul asunder. O thou who steerest the hearts of thy devotees, do with me what thou wilt, for thou art my heart's beloved, thou and thou alone. O Lord, lead us from the unreal to the real, lead us from darkness to light, and lead us from death to immortality. May all be free from dangers, May all realize what is good. May all be actuated by noble thoughts. May all rejoice everywhere. May all be happy. May all be free from disease. May all realize what is good. May none be subject to misery. May the wicked become virtuous. May the virtuous attain tranquility. May the tranquil be free from bonds. May the freed make others free. May good betide all people. May the sovereign righteously rule the earth. May all beings ever attain what is good. May the worlds be prosperous and happy. May the clouds pour rain in time. May the earth be blessed with crops. May all countries be freed from calamity. May holy men live without fear. May the Lord, the destroyer of sins, the presiding deity of all sacred works, be satisfied. For he being pleased, the whole universe becomes pleased. He being satisfied, the whole universe feels satisfied.